In the blink of an eye, the shield shattered, and the blade was already pressing against the center of the war character on his forehead. Unsurprisingly, Li Tu was struck in the forehead by the blade and sent flying, blood splattering everywhere. Before he even hit the ground, Brother Gu reached out again and pulled him back. Then he placed his hand on Li Tu's head. Li Tu could only stare wide-eyed, unable to move. Gu Chunga spoke, still coughing up blood. Not a bad act. Now, tell me, how did you survive? I'm quite curious. Li Tu was even more shocked that Brother Gu had noticed so quickly. Meeting gift. Yani hesitated, this, how could I accept? But even as she spoke, her hands had already reached out. Xian and I encouraged her from the side, Yani, just take it. He has plenty of good stuff. So she accepted it and said, many thanks, young Master Changa. Gu Gu corrected her, that's what outsiders call me. You should just call me brother. Saying that, he ruffled her hair and continued, there's also a jade pendant inside the jade slip. It's my token. If one day you want to go to the upper realm to cultivate, you can use it to contact me. Or if you ever find yourself in danger, you can use it to summon me. No one in the entire heavens and realms would dare bully you. She blushed and replied, thank you, brother. Gu Changa said with satisfaction, Yani is so obedient, unlike someone else. Xian and I widened her eyes and froze in place, thinking, why do I feel like someone's talking bad about me? Inside the Shin clan's main hall, an elder hurriedly rushed in and reported, old ancestor. The old ancestor responded with a simple and asked, how did it go? The elder wiped his sweat, let out a sigh of relief, and answered, he's gone. Others in the hall also relaxed and said, he finally left. It was suffocating. The old ancestor instructed, from now on, tell Yani's parents to treat him with even more respect. Our Shin clan absolutely cannot afford to offend him. The scene shifted to another location, towering mountains shrouded in mist. Xian and I asked in confusion, aren't we going to Taotsuan? Why did we stop here? Gu Changa replied, there's a divine object here that can predict fate. Before going back, I need to resolve the matter with Li Tu completely. Do you want him to take revenge on the Shin clan? Xian and I asked in confusion, predict fate? Gu Changa immediately warned, don't even think about touching it. Xian and I pouted, I was just asking. Why are you so stingy? Moments later, the scene gradually became clear. Xian and I was shocked, this is. Gu Gu confirmed, it's near the Boundary Sea Monument. In the vision, an old man stepped out from a spatial rift, his face filled with fury as he spoke, Gu Changa, the Shin clan. Xian and I asked in confusion, is this the old man who saved my grandfather and great-grandfather back then? He's Li Tu's master. Gu Changa also acknowledged, saving those two old men wasn't an act of kindness. Alright, now that we found the location, let's go check it out. The scene shifted to a hidden chamber. The elderly man from earlier slowly stepped into the place. He knelt before a coffin and respectfully called out, my lord. Just a little more, and we can help Lord War Immortal return to the world. By then, the Shin family will be completely erased from the Azure Sky realm. Suddenly, a suction force emanated from the coffin, drawing in all the bluish smoke rising from the incense burner in the old man's hand. Immediately after, a voice came from within the coffin, you have done well over the years. The old man then asked, my lord, what about the grudge with Gu Changa? The voice inside the coffin spoke again, leave that matter aside for now. The Gu family is not to be trifled with. I need to focus on forming a new body and gradually recovering my peak strength, that is what truly matters. Besides, my enemies likely already know of my resurrection. Let that Gu family brat have his moment for now. Upon hearing this, the old man thought to himself, Lord War Immortal was once so glorious, invincible across the land. If not for the heavens rejecting him, he would have long since ascended to that realm. And now, he can only cling to life within this bronze coffin. Suddenly, a spatial rift appeared, shocking both the entity inside the coffin and the old man. What? From the rift, Xian and Gu Chang'e stepped out. Xian smiled and said, "We meet again, Lord War Immortal." Meanwhile, Gu Chang'e said flatly, "So this is where you've been hiding." The old man stammered in panic, "Master. The entity inside the coffin spoke directly, "It is the power of karma, it has nothing to do with you. He possesses a treasure capable of tracing karma, which is how he found this place." Gu Chang'e chuckled, "A soul-nurturing land. I was just wondering where to find one, and here it appears before me effortlessly." Upon hearing this, the old man roared in fury, "Gu Chang'e! You are going too far." At that moment, Gu Chang'e's eyes suddenly turned blood-red. He did not speak, merely staring coldly at the old man. Then, squelch asterisk, a blade suddenly pierced through the old man as Gu Chang'e said indifferently, "You talk too much." The old man's body slowly collapsed, his blood spilling onto the ground, forming a half-basin's worth. The voice inside the coffin roared in anger, We have no past grievances with you, why must you be so aggressive?" Gu Chang'e raised his long blade and sneered, "Isn't it a life-and-death feud now?" Before the words even fully fell, his blade slashed down abruptly, sending a dazzling blade arc through the air and blowing the coffin lid away. In an instant, a withered hand reached out from the coffin, cursing furiously, "You insolent wretch!" Xian exclaimed in shock, "That's..." Gu Chang'e recognized the figure as well and said coldly, "So you've stepped into the Tao of the corpse. Such a perfect soul-nurturing land, wasted on you." Slowly, the being inside the coffin revealed itself. It was a terrifying zombie, its eyes crimson and filled with violent malice. In a deep voice, it said, "Had I been at my peak, would you dare act so brazenly? Gu family brat, though my essence is damaged, taking you down won't be so easy." As soon as those words fell, he looked down, only to find Gu Chang'e's Qingfeng blade already embedded in his chest. Gu Chang'e said indifferently, "In the end, you never truly stepped into that realm. Your so-called peak was merely a step above those who have attained the Tao. And now, in your broken state, a frog in a well like you dares to call yourself an immortal." The zombie's eyes widened in disbelief, his entire body beginning to crack apart. Moments later, his form exploded, dissolving into a cloud of blue smoke. Xian cried out in shock once again, "That's it. He's dealt with just like that." Gu Chang'e replied leisurely, "What else? Should I wait for him to recover to his peak and then fight him for 300 rounds? At this moment, the system also notified, "Congratulations to the host for obtaining a treasure chest." He looked around and continued, "This place is now mine. I need to further enhance its soul-nurturing effect." Upon hearing this, Gu Xianer felt a little sad and thought to herself, "Are you worried about the demonic heart?" Then, Xianer said loudly, "Don't worry. If that day really comes, I will give you the celestial bone. I've been taking good care of it, and now, even without it, I can survive." He then pinched Xianer's cheek and said, "You're such a fool. I was just joking. With my strength, how could that day ever come?" Suddenly, Gu directly picked up Xianer, making her panic. "Ah! What are you doing?" After speaking, he directly threw Xianer into the spatial rift. "Ah, I can leave on my own. Alright, I still need to prepare a few things to deal with the soon-to-be-released scarlet-clad demoness. Hopefully, I won't have to use them."